Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So, first of all, how many of you think that God and his son should be magically scared of Donald Trump, of MAGA, of left wing protesters, of occultists, of the military, of the government, the governing class? How many of you think that? Right? Because if you think that, you're insane. Because the concept of God is he's all good, all knowing, and all powerful, right? Duh, right? So if you think that God and his son, or even just God's son, should be afraid of you or the other people on the planet, and you are one stupid son of a bitch. Take it from the top martial arts ever possible. Whether you're religious or not, I'm the top martial arts ever possible. When it came time to compare life decisions, life paths, and life worth, I came in at number one, universally. If you don't know I'm right about this, you are a stupid son of a bitch. So now let's look at this thing here. The name Renee Good is a play on words, and it took me a while to kind of see what they're saying. And there's a reason for that. I had a lot on my plate, the exact way that I realized it would have you. What they're saying is run a good. Because you say Renee, because I'm like, why do they keep saying, say her name, say her name? They're saying that because they're saying, hey, that's what we're telling you. It has something to do with her name, right? Rhyme and reason, what have you, what it sounds like when you say it fast, when you say it slow. So Renee Good, run a good. Now, what do they mean? Yes, they're talking about me, but they're also talking about everyone like me. It's like creating a planet where there's like evil orcs and they're telling the nice people who are trying harder to be good what to do. So it has to do with like Christ and the body of Christ, those who are approaching the body of Christ, those who indicate to them that they'd rather follow me, right? It goes back to the Masonic plan of early identification, prevention, and intervention. Okay. And of course, they're Luciferian, society's Luciferian. So now, if you have any sense, and I talk about Egypt, Horus was the archetype of Pharaoh, the archetype, the true model, the true qualities needed to be a true Pharaoh, not just some punk who happens to be, sitting on the throne thinking he's bad, right? The word set is a play on words for seat. That's not a coincidence. We see in Kemetology, they say Asar, a Set, and Heru, right? Where a Set is Isis, who's a deity of magic. Now, Isis has various forms, right? And one of her main forms, the most commonly acknowledged form by the West, is an invalid form that has to do with waving her magic wand and sleeping with Set and pretending that Set is, the man and so on and so forth, right? If you read between the lines, if you look at the history of Isis and Greece and Rome and what they were doing, what they were getting at, how it relates to Zeus and Hera and Zeus sleeping with everybody and so on and so forth. Okay. So some kind of fair weather magic card witch of a slut. Speaking bluntly here. So if we look at this thing, right? If we were to see the followers of Set approach Pharaoh and say, hey, we want to run you, they would get beat the fuck down. Okay? Not by some oppressor, not by some Harry Potter guy dressed with a jackal thong on, but by the top martial artist ever possible and his straight killer staff who are in his spirit, just stomping him out, beating the hell out of him. Beating the racist white, racist Jew, racist LGBT, beating the Freemason, beating the token minority. I'm just stomping the shit out of them. Okay? And I say, pick them up while they're covered in blood. So let's try this again. You want to tell the Son of God what to do now? Bear with me now. Some of you might say, why doesn't this happen? Because God is not a knucklehead idiot. He's not going to just, beat you up and kill you. What's the point? Life is a test. And he wants everyone, all the angels, me especially, to see exactly how much you deserve to suffer forever. So far worse than the scenario I just described is some bitch-ass motherfuckers who take advantage of the fact that they're not immediately punished for their arrogance and their rebellion. So now let's look at the other way around. If Horus came, if Horus is not, arrogant, he's not rebellious against God, and he said to Set, hey, I should be in charge. And some Harry Potter bitch was like, well, fuck him up. It doesn't work that way. It's not the same scenario. It's not respectable. It's even in the Old Testament, right? Where it says when the righteous, rise to power, everyone rejoices. When the wicked roll, people groan, because it's not the same. The devil is not in charge. God is. So when you crucify Christ, when you kill Stephen the martyr, Zacharias, son of Berechiah, John the Baptist, on and on and on, Isaiah, sawed him in half in popular culture, there was hell to pay, and they did not get the last say. They were not in charge. They're rebels acting like sniveling, goblin, sissy punks. They're acting like Gargamel or Rick Moranis in Spaceballs, like a bitch. It's pretty straightforward. So when they're saying, say her name, Renee Good. Sit there and say, run A Good. And they get, ha, 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 and they giggle like some frat person, some racist Jew in a frat, some racist white person in a frat, token minority, like, I'm with them, guys. Our brothers got to eat, whatever the fuck. Like some gay guy, oh, okay. When they act like that, never forget for a moment in your life, first of all, my kingdom is not this world. I'm a moral supremacist, not a racial supremacist. In the last 10 years, last 10 days, 1.89 million people have died. 1.89 million. Many of them were racist whites, racist Jews, racist LGBT. Some of them were part of these groups. No kings and MAGA and ha ha ha. MAGA being a play on words for M gay and magic age, alpha and data and all kinds of rubbish, right? And MAGA MA, martial arts MA, and then gay. So they have gay martial arts and they're mocking. Oh, look at me, look at my karate chop, and acting like a bitch. Why they were doing that, their family members were dropping. Why they were doing that, some of them were dropping. And they were whimpering. Like I say, I love this part. They were whimpering like a fucking bitch on their deathbed, on their way to hell. What the fuck can they say? Who runs who? You bitch ass motherfucker. Eventually time, which is on my side, runs its course. That's why time in Greco-Roman mythology was not on the Greek side. Time was like, I'm going to get you sniveling rebels at every turn. The Grim Reaper is chasing you bitches, and you are going to cook forever. And no matter what happens, what I'm doing is respectable. What you're doing is some sniveling Rick Moranis, Walter Peck, bitch ass, Ariana Grande type of bitch shit. And no one with any worth at all respects it, period. Okay, so keep in mind I'm very courteous, loyal, nice, caring, considerate. And for those of you who doubt that, let me put in perspective here. When you're sensitive and gentle, when you're loving, you don't like the fact and the thought that there's nice little kids being led astray by these people. There's females who are more sensitive and adorable than Belle in Beauty and the Beast that are being ruled over by straight Freddy Krueger, Palpatine scum. You don't like people being coerced. If they point to that to tease me, because Set is a play on words for tease, right? Set being Horus's rival. He lives by rape, by deception, storms, chaos, principles of evil, jackals, hippos, aardvarks, snakes, boars, various animals associated with him because these has this dark evil way about him. And jackals are associated with graveyards, what have you. The desert, right? Hopelessness, suffering, chaos, desolation. If they point to that stuff to rub it in, you think I'm supposed to say, well, that's no big deal. Look up in the Bible, right, where it says Jesus was indignant. The moneylenders, right? He's chasing them around with basically a whip that he made himself. Matthew 23, Mark 7. Okay? Christ rebuking the Pharisees and the Jews. And you brood of vipers, how can you who are evil say anything good, and so on and so forth? But you think I'm supposed to let them say that with a hidden in plain view, with them wearing a hidden in plain view cape and magic wand and thong, with a G-string, high heels, a fanny pack, okay? While people are getting raped and killed and abused and children are getting trafficked, and you think that I'm supposed to just be like, well, that's no big deal. Think I'm supposed to just play the game or something? No, I'm going to tell those fucking cowards about themselves. And after my flesh dies, I'm going to continue to express my resentment for that, for the fact that they did that, for eternity while they're cooking, while they're shrieking in extreme pain that is unmatched in human history. Not because I'm this evil, hateful person. I'm not. Because I love doing God's work. I love God with all my being. I love the righteous. The thought that these worms won't render unto God that which is his, why they mock God. The thought that they're raping women and children, that's not going to fly. I am the Lion of Judah, not the poodle, not the cute little pink hamster. I'm not your pet mouse. I'm the great falcon that deals with the enemies of God, the avenger. I don't think it's funny at all. There is going to be hell to pay, especially when people say, well, if there's a God, why does he allow for this or that? The answer is he doesn't. He waits till people have finished their lives and that their test has ran its course. And then God and the angels and I cook them into next week and forever and ever. The smoke from their torment rises forever and ever. If you don't think that's enough, my goodness, you don't understand what I'm talking about then. I'm talking about God who is a straight killer to the essence of a righteous killer. And I'm talking about my soul, which does not play at all, cooking complete scum who have been begging for it. And a lot of them have some awareness of it as they're begging for mercy on their deathbeds. This situation is more serious than they're making it seem. Really quickly, it also hits differently when you've been shunned by women for a long time and you're this handsome, heroic prince naturally, who they've, reduced with fumes and poisons and time, over time. And you don't get to hold a gorgeous female and explain to her and express that gentle part of yourself the way a man should express with his wife, right? The two will leave their family and become one flesh. And so that kind of factors in on a very profound level, mentally, spiritually, physically, what have you. The brain, the mind, the soul, what have you, the spirit. And so there's a certain need for extreme vengeance, a kind of deep, profound, romantic vengeance, if you will, without, I'm not talking about perversion or sexual morality. I'm talking about a vengeance that's based in the need to express God's wrath through his chosen son, the top martial artist ever possible made, and to set things straight, to deliver on God's promises. Eventually, people, they meet their maker and they see that I'm right.